my best guess is, I think it's my best guess, maybe it's just the most convenient guess, is that it's all random. Like, and almost so far as to say, like, our consciousness, people ask this sometimes, is it a gift or a curse? Like, sometimes I think, I guess maybe I'll use it more of a curse, but like more than just, maybe we weren't supposed to gain consciousness, whatever supposed to means, right? But like the fact that we even have the ability to have this conversation and ponder these things, in which, if it is random, right? If there is no right answer, there's no rhyme or reason, nobody designed it. It's just, the universe sneezed and out we came, and now all these things happen. And now with consciousness, we can look at it, we can analyze it, we can think about it, we can ponder it, we can draw conclusions, we can spin stories. It leaves us on this never-ending chase of like trying to make sense of something that doesn't make any sense. And the fact that we have consciousness only makes us worse off because it tortures us in that way. I kind of go to that place, but I think I ultimately, so I'm curious what you think about that, but I think I ultimately come back to like, that may all be true,
Mm.
but with consciousness and this awareness has created this sense of understanding, back to that word goodness, or quality of life, that like there is a good and a bad, there is a better and there is a worse. And the God, if you will, that we all serve now is this God of goodness. Like, at the end of the day, you said it before, like, we're all kind of inherently selfish. The only thing that really does drive us is this sense of like, this is going to be better for me. Now, maybe sometimes better for me is, donating a bunch of money to a poor country, or helping somebody that's in need, but it's still because that brings more goodness to me.
Hmm.
And really, if we're being honest, that's the only thing we're actually serving. We're just
Yeah.
trying to find more things that make us feel good about ourselves. Some of it we get from society and what they tell us, some of it's genetic, some of it's intrinsic, whatever, but it's just that. And it's like the world was random. We gained consciousness. Consciousness then shifted it to say the overarching theme is just what makes us feel good. What do you
Yeah.
think of that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I completely. I think what you're really getting at is like, all of this stuff that makes us competitive, not all of it. I think a lot of it comes back to scarcity of goods, scarcity of things in our life, right? And those things come and go. And the other day I was watching this movie called All's Quiet on the Western Front. I'm
Mhm.
not sure if you've seen that.
Yeah.
Wonderful movie, right? And in the World War I, 3 million kids, I would call them kids because they were like anywhere from like 15 to 25, right? Back in that day, they died for just a few hundred meters of ground. Like they were just standing there. It became positional warfare. Imagine growing up and like now you're festered with like this camaraderie, this brotherhood, like, wow, I finally belong somewhere. And then now you travel with your friends, your brothers, you're out there, now you're disbanded, now your horror is upon you. And all that's happening is people are treating you like a chess piece.
Mm.
You're a pawn in someone else's game. And enlightenment, what that means is like, yeah, we know that. The other part of it is now we know, okay, now we've gained some sort of sentience in the middle class. Not necessarily like we're able to leave this corporate rat race if we really want to. But part of it is like, what are you going to do? Right? Like, what are we going to do once we get out there? Are you going to do something better than what they're doing? Right? Are we able to provide a better answer for it? So, I mean, all of it comes back to like, ultimately, growing the pie is more important. Understanding that things aren't scarce. Like we know how to feed the world already. We know it. We have the knowledge for it. We have the means for it. We just don't do it because we still think in our heads like primitive apes. Like, oh man, like somebody's gonna steal my food. If I have a nice dish and you just have a piece of bread next to you, but you don't know that there's a buffet behind you,
Mm.
you may just look at my plate and go, yeah, but this person got the better plate. Um, but that's it. Like most of us don't look behind and go, well, you know what? I could cook myself up a nice meal over there. And that's what it really comes down to, right? Right? Like sometimes it's about leading the horse to the water, teaching us and giving us the skills. I was watching a show about replenishing regenerative agriculture. It means that maybe food needs to be produced not in a mass industrial way. And we know this, right? Like if people are able to get control of the food they produce, half the insecurity in your life is gone. Like I don't need to like rely and pay $200 for two tomatoes and a potato,
Mhm.
like right
Mhm.
now. So all of it comes back to like giving people control, having the freedom to do these things that we used to have, and maybe just allowing us to say, hey, maybe we can grow this pie and not necessarily steal land from each other and cut pieces of things out for each other. So I think that's what it all comes back to because then that's a better way of attaining knowledge, the better way of attaining happiness. If my neighbor is healthier, you're healthier, it's better for me. It's a selfish thought too, because ultimately there's less disease, there's less war, there's less famine, there's chance of me just randomly dying. All of it comes back to us living a better quality of life, right?
So I agree, right? Well, I do agree. I think most people would feel compelled to agree. And that's what I'm going to press on. Like, is it
Yeah,
true though? Like people that are not even the elite, ultra
yeah,
wealthy, but people that are making millions of dollars a year, whatever.
yeah.
Do you think that that's actually true for them, where they'd say, yeah, I personally would be better off if we did if we grew the pie, if we kind of figured out a way to make that work, because I could see the world being better off. I could see collectively, if you put it in mathematical terms, the world is in a better position there. But individually, as that person, are they actually in a better position? Because they're probably not worried
Yeah.
about disease or any of that stuff as it is right now.